Welcome to Wise Words with SJ. Hello, all my fabulous people out there. Now I'm going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, dating the bad boy or dating the bad girl versus the nice guy and the nice girl. Okay, so I have lots of experience with that. You ever count the people that you've slept with on a list? I know I have. I won't say, I can go on the list and say who was bad and who was good, and who am I still friends with? Maybe one or two of them, or three, actually three. Anyway, so I was married at 21. My first husband was my first boyfriend. And there was just sort of like a frozen thing. That's what you did in late 1960s. You met somebody at college, you became boyfriend and girlfriend, you got engaged, and you got married. You either had lots of kids, you stayed together, or you didn't. I didn't. I realized that I don't really want to be with this person. It's the late 60s, the early 70s. I want to experience what everybody else has experienced in life, like sleeping with other people. I'd never slept with anybody before him. He was my first. Let me tell you, it wasn't the greatest. But I didn't know what the greatest was at all. I had no idea what that meant, the greatest. I don't know, because I'd never been with anybody else. But I knew that there had to be something more than this. So basically I decided to go on the hunt for Red October. I'm kidding. Let's see what that's going to be like. So we split up and I was on my own, and I started to date different people, like some a lot older than me. Well, mostly a lot older than me, because I was like, when we split up, 24. So I was dating guys that were like 20 years older than me, 15 years older than me, and I was always attracted to, because my first husband, he always did the right thing, you know what I mean? The bills were paid, he took care of everything, I never had to worry about any of that kind of stuff. So I would say he was not a bad boy, he was a good boy. His mother thought I was crazy, but whatever, who cares? So I decided I was going to go out there and see, what is a bad boy like? Well, I think the first bad boy I ever dated had hair down to, long, wavy, gorgeous hair, which I thought was gorgeous, and smoked pot, which I had never smoked a cigarette or smoked pot in my life. So I was dating a bunch of different guys because I'd never dated anybody. I started, I started smoking cigarettes at 24 years old. Marlboro Red, which is a very difficult thing. Anyway, that's what I did. But I went out there and I was dating all types of men, older men. I don't know, because I was young. I was 24. They wanted a young girl. I remember this one guy. He owned a stereo company, and I would call him the old man, and he would call me the young kid. We dated. And, I just dated a lot of people at that time, and just dated comedians who were bad boys and all these bad guys, okay? I needed to get the bad boy out of me. I want to date bad boys with motorcycle jackets and, motorcycles and tattooed guys. And so, when I started dating, there was one guy for 3 years that I lived with. He wasn't even divorced, and I was living with him. He was a total bad boy. I was attracted to bad boys. It was the total opposite of everything that I believed and I grew up with. Who wants another nice guy in my life? Forget it. I wasn't interested in that, okay? That was my fun times, I really feel. And then the second guy that I was married to, he was also a bad boy. He was in fact, he used to dance. He was one of those Chippendales type dances. I mean, that's like the baddest you're going to get. Women stuffing money, inside your G-string while you're strutting around all the women. And, it was all sorts of wild and craziness. He was definitely a bad boy. So I was with, a bunch of bad boys. And then we split. And of course, I met a nice guy. That I didn't want a nice guy then. Then I met somebody else, and he was a bad guy. And I really had a great time with him. He moved in, we got engaged, we didn't get married. So finally, I decided that I wanted to be with a nice guy. I'm with a nice guy now, a great companion. So, what do you choose? If you go through a period as a woman, you want to experience what you can experience. In my older generation, we had a lot of fun, okay? Now, it just depends on what you're looking for. If you're a guy, I'm not a guy, so I don't know. You want to find a nice woman to settle down with, or you want somebody that's going to give you trouble most of your life, which I had with the different men that I was with. And I realized I'm just going back to what I had at the beginning of my life in relationships. A nice guy who I know is going to come home every night to me. He's not going to be with other women that I know about. And he's just going to be good to me and good for me. I think that's a very important part of life that we have. But okay, I can't tell you what to do. I just can tell you that my experience, if it's taught me anything, it's being with a good person as opposed to a bad person. Now, some people thought back in the day that I was a bad girl because I would go out with somebody for 6 weeks and I'm like, oh no, don't fall in love with me. Don't ask me to marry you. We're not, it's over with. I used to break up with guys on the telephone. Hello? Don't come over. We're breaking up. I mean, I was considered a bad girl, I think, for a little while because, I want to experience life. I just can't imagine being with the same person from the age of 21 to now. I just can't imagine that. Although I had a girlfriend, God rest her soul, she married somebody and she was with that person forever until she passed. And he wasn't a nice person, but I guess she liked him or loved him. So she was with the same person. And my grandparents, they married from like the age of like from 1920 to 78, 58 years. My uncle and aunt, they're together almost like, I think 70, yeah, almost 70 years right now. So there are some people that stick like glue. I wasn't one of them. Do what's right for you. If you're with the same person you've been with forever and you want to get married to that person and they're a good person, if that works for you and you know that, do it. Or if you were like me and you feel like I need to see what else is out there, what is that expression they used to say? Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Isn't that terrible? It's the truth. See what's out there if that works for you. Don't feel guilty if you need to see what else is out there because, I can tell you now that I'm with a good person, a good man, and that's what I decided I wanted. After all the years, I didn't need to go through the drama because there's a lot of drama with a bad person. Trust me, because when my bad girl ways, there was a lot of drama with me. And there was a lot of drama with men. So if you like drama, if you want drama for the rest of your life, then go with a bad person. Whatever works for you is my philosophy. It didn't work for me in the long run. And I just want to say that through my experiences, I hope I can help you with all of this advice that I've lived for all these years in what is good for you. And as long as you have love with the person you're with and you're compatible with them, and they're your companion. That's the most important thing. I mean, I never dated any rockers. I dated comedians. So rockers were never my scene, like with the long hair and the acid rock and the Kiss types of guys. That's not what I was interested in. But there are a lot of bad boys out there with motorcycles and tattoos and younger. I loved younger men. I went with younger men for a while. But, in the long run, when it comes to who you're going to get in bed with at night, you know that you could put yourself next to that person. He's a good person or she's a good person. She's going to be there for you. He's going to be there for you. He's going to make sure that, honey, what do you need? She's going to make sure that, honey, what do you need? So if I helped you at all, if you need to experience the bad person. Enjoy. Just don't do it for the rest of your life. I'm just telling you, okay? And please email me at wisewords@jltv.tv, and I'll answer all your questions, whether you like it or not.